They constantly bringing my name up. My son be thinking I'm famous. Food on your table and bread in your pot. When you talk about me, better know that I got it. Don't need your opinion, I just made it a pot. My money ain't dirty, I ain't gotta wash.
What's going on, everybody, man? This is the Boss on Hard TV right now, man. And we are about to go over the PreSeason JAM. I'm G-Day Hoop Scout, and I'm hanging with Coach Willis right now.
What's good, world?
Hey, Coach, man, just, maybe it's some key matchups that that you may really want to see right now, man. Talk to the people. Let them know about some of these matchups.
Man, I'm excited, first of all, about this event. First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be working with Ball So Hard. This is one of the shirts. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my first events doing from a standpoint of a tournament base. Been coaching for a while, doing basketball, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Task of Cedar, so I'm want to watch every one of their games. Lake Creek as well. They went deep in the playoffs last year. Got a couple of returning guys who played for them last year. Klein Forest I want to see because usually I feel like they always surprise people. They don't always have like big time superstar type kids, but they play a good brand of basketball. And most of the time the kids they've been playing together for a while. Right. So they know each other, good chemistry. So they play hard. They always gonna play hard.
They do play hard.
Always. And then guys like Katie Taylor, Jake Arnold, South Park, and AJ Ferguson. And then Cypress got some guys too. I want to see how they look because I felt last year they kind of underplayed with the talent they had last year. Didn't make the playoffs. So I think they should be pretty good this year.
As you guys are seeing right now on your screen, you're seeing the schedule that's going on the screen right now. And so these are just some of the matchups that will be going on that Coach Willis was just talking about. It's a lot of teams who made the playoffs last year who was playing and participating in this event. So it should be a good feel for those teams to try to get back in the swing of things and just kind of give us an early gauge of what's going on, man. And so just jumping straight into it, let's talk about the Task of Cedar Eagles. The Eagles won. Coach, what player do you really want to check out from that Eagles won?
I'm not gonna lie. I really want to see what David Martinez look like. I've been knowing David Martinez for a while. Been watching him since he was young in the 8th grade. He's played high-level AAU for many, many, many years. But he has had some injuries over the last couple of years where he didn't play last year. So I think, he's always a kid who plays hard, plays aggressive, hungry, has a great skill set. So I'm kind of excited to see him play, this year, his junior year, where he didn't get a chance to play any really this summer, things like that. And he's a kid that still could be highly recruited if he has a good junior year
he definitely could.
Going into his, last summer of AAU. So I'm not gonna lie, like he's a kid I really, really want to see play. Just to see if he's gonna be looking like he used to, with handling the ball, great shooter, great skill set, nice moves, a kid with a good package. So he's a kid I'm really looking to see.
They also have Caleb Stewart on the squad. I'm sure he may not suit up for the event, but he will still be there. I know that for sure. He is recently committed to Louisiana Tech University. So just, for safety precautions, he probably won't play. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Justin Collins, a really good shooter. You got to get out on him for him to light it up. There will be college coaches in attendance as well. And so this will be, good for college coaches to actually see him in person and what he does. Same thing goes for Christian Ashby. And then there's been a lot of talk about this Angel Johnson that plays with the Skylar's athlete as the point guard position. Just really, looking forward to see him as well, man.
Tom Hart gonna be a good one too. He's gonna be a good kid, a kid who's strong with the ball, solid point guard. I really hope Caleb play, man. I want to see these guys, man. Like, I think when you have preseason tournaments like this, if you can just get a good look and see how some teams gonna look, it kind of gives you that excitement to look towards the season and things like that, just to see how they're gonna mesh, because Carter Martinez always has very good guards. He always, I think he does a good job with having a lot of guards and still getting them to play together. So I kind of want to see how it's gonna look, with Caleb, Tom Hart, David Martinez coming back. You got the kid Angel Johnson. Like, I just want to see how that's gonna mesh. So.
And the Eagles don't just have one team in it, but they have two teams in the event. Decided to break the varsity apart and do 2 squads. You know, shout out to Coach David Martinez for that. Just getting his guys as much run as possible, letting them get in the game. So off of that, Eagles too. Which kid are you really looking forward to seeing?
Come on, man. We know who I'm trying to see. Caleb Hunty. I'm gonna be honest with you. That kid right there has surprised a lot of people. You know, he played JV last year.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I seen him this summer play with Fam Elite. They did a great job showcasing him this summer. He did very well in a lot of tournaments I've seen this summer. I just really like his length, his athleticism. He can put the ball in the hole. I think he's gonna be a X factor for them this year because, you know, he brings length, but he also can play on the perimeter. I think Coach Martinez is gonna do a great job with him. Again, he's a junior, got 2 years left. So he's a kid I really, really want to see.
Also, they have a transfer over there from Summer Creek, Connor Miller. He can shoot the ball really well. He played with Drive Nation Houston this summer on the 16U level. He's a kid that you have to know where he is on the floor at all times. Brings us to our next team, Brazelwood, the Buccaneers. Really looking forward to seeing Jake Simpson play in this event. See what he can do. See how he can really control his varsity squad. Last year he was leading scorer on the squad. He was also the second leading scorer in his district as well. He was all district. He has, you know, a couple of Division III offers on the table right now. And so just really looking forward watching Jake get at it this weekend against some very tough matchups. Just to kind of get them going. They also have another kid, Ty Sims. He's really solid on the defensive end as well. Jumping to Clearbrook. Coach, man, who you want to see from Clearbrook?
I mean, we already know who Clearbrook got. They got the brothers, man.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Kimo and Smurf, man.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. I really like those kids, man. You know, one's a junior, one's a sophomore. I really want to see them play together. You know, because they're both point guards.
Right.
You know, they're both guards who can handle the ball. You know, but the one thing I love about them is, man, their defense. You know, their tenacity, how they play, the energy. You know, I just really want to see them, how they're going to mesh together. I mean, it's going to be exciting for them as brothers getting to be able to play with each other for the next 2 years, you know, and things like that. So I think they're going to be very good. You know, especially with this day and age, you know, if you got a good backcourt, you're usually going to be a good team, you know.
Yep.
So that's a good plus for their coach. To have 2 brothers like that who are really good, both play high level AAU, play the defenders this summer, you know, so that's really good for them. Just want to see them play. I think, you know, who do they play? You know, I think who's Clipper play?
Well, they start with Cy Ranch, so it's going to be a really good matchup. We will get to Cy Ranch here in a second, but next we're going to jump to Cypress Park High School. Cypress Park coach just. There's a kid on there. He's really on a lot of coaches' radars right now.
It's AJ Ferguson.
Yes, sir.
AJ, man. I got a soft spot for AJ, man. You know, I coached AJ.
Yeah.
You know, last year when I was with RL9, he actually started playing 17U. You know, a lot of people don't know that he started playing 17U, and he did well. You know, like I really liked the way he played, his length as a guard. Things like that, and then he moved down to the 16U Elite to help them make that team even better, you know, what they had last year. And then I think this year, I seen him really grow into a complete player. You know, he's being more athletic now, dunking the ball, playing above the rim with his length. You know, he was always a good defender. You know, he's shooting the ball better at a better percentage as well from mid-range and 3. So I think, honestly, to me, I think he's a kid that, you know, this year probably will break out to where he may get some offers. Some people may think he may not get, but I think he's a high-level basketball player. I just think that he's a late bloomer who's kind of coming into himself, and I think he still has a lot more growth and potential to show that will help him a lot. Because the one thing I will say, with his height, you know, he has Division I size, 6'5".
Yeah, he does.
You know, if he puts some weight on his body, you know, especially if you like, you know, he may grow another inch. That'll really help him.
That's true.
You know, solidify him into being a good 2 guard. You know, more than a point guard. You know, 6'5", most guys somebody may try to play the point, but if he could be 6'5", 6'6", with his athleticism, would be real good. Real good.
They also have another kid, Anthony Greer, over there. A kid that a lot of people don't know about, but also watch out for this kid. 6'4". He plays the wing position. He's going to be a terror this season for the Tigers. Staying within the same district, we're going to go with Cypress Ranch High School. We just kind of mentioned them a little bit earlier when we were talking about Clearbrook and about matchups. So Clearbrook plays Cy Ranch for their very first matchup. And so you got the 2 guards, the Milliner boys, the Millie boys, and they're going to be going against Mason Docks, the kid from Michigan, who at the Gaslo's event this a couple weeks ago on Labor Day, he really showcased his skill set and showed everyone that he was a true floor general, true point guard, shifty, crafty with the basketball, makes the right reads, get a lot of good quality paint touches, creates for his guys on the perimeter, really solid in read and pick and roll situations. And so he just kind of showcased that. And so, you know, this is a matchup that a lot of people want to see. And so you guys will get to see it here at the PreSeason JAM. Any other kids from Cy Ranch, Coach? That
they got a lot of kids that I think are young but could be good, like Jalen. What's his last name?
Bernard.
Jalen Bernard. You got Ryan Moore. You know, you got a lot of kids on this team that could really be pretty good this year playing varsity. Like I said, I think they should be better than what they did last year, especially if they can play a little bit faster, especially with Mason Dock. I think if he is what everybody says, I think that's going to really help them. Having a point guard who can facilitate, get people involved, you know, dictate the game and things like that. You know, I think they got another kid, post player kid, not really post player, 6'5". What is it?
Dribble Maneki.
Yeah.
And I really hope to see him play. He didn't play in the last event, and so I hope that he does play. Just because I would like to see, like you said earlier about Caleb Stewart, I would like to see the team as a complete team. I know that they still have some guys out football, like, you know, Romeo Noel. Even though he has a lot of D1 offers on the football field, he's still kind of
Shooter Raspberry that's playing this weekend.
Yeah, Kobe Raspberry will be playing with them also. They have a lot of good guys.
Justin Norris is a kid I know, again, also played on R9 when I was there, who's probably going to surprise a lot of people. He's grown. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He can shoot the ball very well. Played JV last year. Okay. But another kid who has potential, you know, and to play, you know, basketball at the next level, you know, with his height and being able to shoot the ball. He can shoot the ball at a high, like real high percentage. Okay. So I really want to see him play varsity this year, see how he looks in the first varsity, you know, event. So guys like that I really want to see, you know.
And before we move on to the next team, Cy Ranch has the most ranked kids on Ball So Hard's website. That's going to be playing in this event, so that would be interesting as well to see.
Facts.
Next team is Huffman Hargrave, the Falcons. They have one kid on their team who is just a kid who you have to know where he is at all time. Coach, who is this kid?
I put like this, you know, just like we talked about Miller earlier, it's about Raspberry. We're going to get to Jake Arnold, Hudson Boyd. The reason I'm naming these guys, I call them my top 5 best shooters in the city.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
You know, it's a couple kids that I like, that I'm really excited to see this weekend because they can shoot the ball at a good high volume and shoot at a good percentage. Okay. I've seen a lot of these kids like in the Southwest Exposure, the first one, camp and things like that. I've seen them play at AU. But Jacob Harvey, I think, is a kid who, if he can, I think this summer did a very good job with showing people he can play the point. But I think he's an excellent shooter. Yeah. Excellent shooter. Yeah. I think he sometimes kind of surprises some people when he plays because they're not expecting him to play at the level he's playing at because he's undersized things like that.
5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, you know, but again, he shoots the ball well to where it keeps him involved in the game, you know, which is a good thing. that I would like to see him because again, I've never seen him play with his school.
Right, yeah.
And they say at his school, it's his team, you know.
Right,
so
it's his team.
So it's a different. He's probably gonna play totally different with a different type of swagger.
Yep, he will.
Confidence. So that's gonna be good to see.
It will. Speaking about Jacob Harvey as well, before we move on to the next team, he has been all district all 3 years of his high school. He was freshman district player of the year, and then sophomore junior he was district MVP. His team has won 30 plus games every season, and so even though they're a 4A school, I still expect them to kind of come in a little polished. I know they're missing some kids who's playing football as well, but every school is. But I still kind of expect just to see them. A lot of people are probably going to overlook them, and they're going to come out and.
But I want to see them play against some bigger teams.
Yeah.
They
will.
That'd be good.
They will. They got some 6A matchups.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Kingwood. Kingwood last season really shocked a lot of people with the season that they had a really good season, made the playoffs. They lost, a really good senior in Walker Blaine, about 6'5", but they are bringing back a lot of talent as well. Even though they lost Walker, they have a lot of kids coming back. One kid to mention is Billy Gold. Billy Gold was all district as well. He's a guard. He can shoot the basketball, about 6 foot. Expect for him to lead his team and to be, the true senior that's going to step up and fill that void. But not just him, but they have a lot of underclassmen as well. Coach, would you like to speak on it?
The kid I wanted to talk about, I think, is Jalen Hill. The reason why I want to talk about him is that he didn't even play for Kingwood last year. But I seen him with the Scholar athletes this summer. He's 6'6", 6'7", athletic body. To go along with Demi, I think that's gonna surprise some people. Again this year, with them probably winning more games than people are gonna expect. But I mean, when I seen him play this summer, I was like, man, this kid could really be a wild card for a lot of college coaches because his body really fits a high level college player because he was very, very muscular, nice long arms. He had a nice athletic build, things like that. To where if he develops more and more, maybe growing another inch or two, 6'7", 6'8", he could be something that people didn't expect, because again, I didn't know who he was, until the coach said he didn't even play. So that's a kid that I think I for sure want to see again, play at his school, see how they're going to use him.
Right.
How he's going to play, within the system they have, things like that. With us having college coaches coming out, I think that's going to be a good thing for him because now he may be on someone's radar that they didn't expect. For sure, Division II coaches are going to be very excited about seeing a kid like that that they haven't seen before. Yep.
And you also mentioned Demi, another 6'6", 6'7" kid. This Kingwood team is going to be really big. They're going to have a lot of height. They're going to have really good long wingspan. But Demi is another kid, really solid down low. Can also stretch off the floor play, from the side perimeter as well as short corner. One dribble on the ground, and he knows his next decision what he's going to do. They call him Basic Joe, their AAU coach for Scholars Athlete, and you can tell with the kids that he has and how fundamentally sound they are. And so with that, just one dribble and knowing what I'm doing, taking you to the rim, one dribble pull up, one dribble drive but dump it off, those are just basic fundamental things that he's learned from his coach, Basic Joe, from Scholar Athletes. So expect them to see a lot of good from this Kingwood Mustang team.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Coach. They got 5 guys over 6'5".
Yeah. They'll have the most height in this event.
That's a big team.
It is
big team, especially for a high school team.
Yeah. For a high school team.
So we got Klein Forest next. You know what I'm saying? And them Eagles. Hey, again, a team that I feel like always plays a good brand of basketball.
They do. Coach Black does a really good job.
Yeah. And they play fast.
They do.
They always play real aggressive on the defense. I love it. I love the way they play. First kid I'm going to talk about from them, I think for me, he's a kid that kind of falls underneath the radar a lot.
Okay.
But I think he's a kid that will be much better than people think this year, especially him being his senior year. And I've been knowing him for a while too. Okay. And that's Marion Williams. Okay. You know, I know his family. You know, I know his brother Calvin, who this year won a national title in Division III at Eastfield. Okay. Undersized guard, kind of just like his brother. But I think kind of falling behind the same path where his brother was a real good shooter, just like him. Good point guard, but eventually became more athletic over time. Okay. And that's what kind of helps him now where he's at. And I think Marion are kind of finding the same path me, but Marion's actually a real good shooter, always been a good shooter. I just think the fact that he started on varsity very young. He did. And Klein Forest had some good scores over the last couple of years who kind of really were the more ball-dominant guys. So I think this year being a senior, it's his time to kind of be like, hey, okay, look, I'm really this good. You know, I seen him play this summer with Texas Elite. Did very well this summer as well. So he's a kid I really want to see kind of, you know, be that leader. You know, because he's been on varsity, I think, since his freshman year. Yeah, so, you know, he has 4-year varsity experience. So I really want to see how he does this year.
And I think he will step into that role and be the leader, as you said. That's kind of Coach Black's way. The seniors kind of lead the way, even though there's been a lot of times where underclassmen may have been the better overall players. Correct. But he still allows his seniors to rock out. And then they also have, you know, some young guys. They have Chandler Williams, the sophomore, 6'5", 6'6". Kind of, even though a lot of teams bury him in the post, he's starting to transition himself out more so towards the wing. You can tell his ball handling is way better than what it was. He's still really solid with his back to the basket. And then they have a shooter, Jalen. Jalen can shoot the ball. He's undersized, junior, but if you leave him open, he will burn you. So he's another player that you have to find on the floor of the court at all times. As Coach Will said, really excited to see Klein Forest. They always bring an exciting brand of basketball. No matter what type of roster that they may have that year, you know, people may be like, oh, they don't have nobody, and they still make the playoffs.
Every year, and sometimes go deeper than what people think they're going to go. So,
Then next up, we have Lake Creek High School from Montgomery. Coach, you want to talk about any kid from Lake Creek?
Man, again, another one of my kids that I had for 2 years. He played for TBT, then he played for RL9. Hudson Boyd. Okay. Kid that, again, sniper. You know, again, one of the top 5 best shooters in the class. You know, maybe, you know, I think he's a kid that, again, like this year, you know, last year they had a real good senior guard who went to Nicholls State, which was the coach's son, Pierce. And, you know, Hudson was kind of the second scorer behind Pierce. Right. You know, especially in the playoffs, he did a great job. So he's a kid, again, I want to see kind of take that role as a senior, right? You know, and see if he can be that leading scorer for them. And I think if he can do that this year, it might actually boost a lot of his recruiting because people kind of see him in a different light, a different role, where he's most of the time been a shooter, you know, a second ball handler, depending on different things, stuff like that. And he always plays well in his school system. I think, you know, coach over there does a great job with just the talent he has. Right, yeah. To where, again, I seen them go, what, 3rd, 4th round last year?
Well, they was just, almost was able to make it to state.
Yeah, so, you know, they played Bryce Grid. Yep. So, I think...
And they still did a good job even within the first half of the game.
Correct.
You know, they played really solid. So Coach Spencer, Coach Shannon Spencer, that is, does a really good job over there at Lake Creek, as you mentioned.
Yep. And then they got another kid who's kind of under the radar as well, Jordan Fitch. I think he's also going to get an opportunity to showcase his talent alongside with Hudson. Yep. Again, another kid who was on varsity last year, who will be a main guard. You know, he can, you know, really handle the ball, good player. So again, another kid who may raise his, you know, his stacks this year and his stake inside the recruiting because he's going to be on a different level, you know, platform, leading more than kind of like playing a role. So interesting to see them play as well.
Next up, we have Langham Creek High School, the Lobos of Langham Creek. This team is always a really scrappy team. They always seem to kind of find their way, just good enough to make it into the playoffs.
Yep.
And so, Coach brings back another solid group. Let's talk about Chris Wiseman for a little bit.
I think a kid who, again, is gonna just have another good year. I think, again, was a kid last year I didn't really know a lot about.
Okay.
Until people started watching, talking about him. I seen him in the season opener when Coach Amon brought them there. Again, another coach who I feel takes certain kids and gives them a certain platform that allows them to showcase who they really are. And I think Coach Amon did a great job last year with him doing that to where it kind of raised his stake as well for recruiting and coaches looking at him and things like that. So I'm curious to see them because they have a lot of new faces on their varsity. Guys who played JV last year that again are gonna play their first varsity game.
That's true.
Not first varsity preseason.
But first varsity experience.
Yeah, experience. So it's gonna be great to see them and just see how Coach Amon do with them, this year. So we get a chance to see them play.
Yep. Paul Owelo is another one of those kids, 6'5", really physical specimen, strong, clears house when he rebounds.
Play with Takeover?
Yep, he played with Takeover.
Oh, he physical. Ooh, he physical.
He runs the lanes. He's just one of those kids where you give him a job and he does it.
Man.
So I just expect for him
to
probably be one of the leading rebounders in this event.
Ox, man, that kid's an ox.
Yeah,
like big kid, man. Like again, I seen him this summer. Then he's not afraid to throw his body.
No, he's not.
That's what really makes it hard to contain him.
He's tough.
Yeah, man, that's a big kid.
He's tough. Comes to our final team, the Mustangs of Katy Taylor, which we all know who they truly feature, but just to speak on some other kids, Luke St Julian, really solid point guard, upper coming guard for the Mustangs. Expect for him to really kind of set the tone with the ball in his hands to be able to create for none other than
Jake Arnold.
You already know Jake.
Sniper.
Jake the Sniper, man.
Hey,
y'all heard Jake the Snake. This is Jake the Sniper.
Again, I'm telling you, another kid. Listen, man. I'm a realist. I like kids who takes the challenge on improving their game, and I feel like Jake is a kid that I watched last year play, and I kind of question his defense as a guard, being able to guard athletic guards. And I got a chance to see him play this summer, and granted, Devon Jackson is the real deal.
Yeah,
but I seen Jake play defense on him to where he was able to keep him in front of him, play solid defense. So I think Jacob improved that, which again, he's again one of the best shooters in the city, probably one of the best shooters in the state. And he's improved also playing on the ball.
Yes.
To where I think if he really wants to play it at the highest level he can play, has to be a point guard. And I think that's what I mean by guarding the ball, being able to facilitate, things like that to go along with the fact that he can shoot the ball at a very high elite level. I think I've watched him improve this year, getting his body in more shape and things like that. So I just think he's a kid that, again, as the year go on, will rise and rise and rise on the recruiting list and things like that, especially if they can go get to the playoffs and him do a good job with that. But he's another kid I want to see this weekend because, again, I just love the way he plays basketball.
Me too, ditto. Jake also has grown. He was listed at 6'1". Recently, been to the doctors, 6'3". So
that's gonna help.
We may see a whole different Jake. He been telling me for the whole summer, I'm 6'3", coach. I'm 6'3", man. And, mom and dad like, hey, we took him to the doctor. Doctor say 6'3". Like, okay.
Hey, when you 6'3", baby.
When the parents say it, then okay. All right. And when they say they took you to the doctor, and that's what the doctor said. I mean, his dad is tall, so it's bound to come. And not just that, but Jake happened to be one of the winners, our winner for the Boston Heart raffle. And we want to thank him and everybody else who participated in the raffle as well. Because what I did was I took that money that was put in the raffle and I went out and I went to the homeless shelter and I went to this place called the Church Under the Bridge down in 3rd Ward in Houston. And, you know, I went and I donated it because it's not for me. It's about not just basketball, but about building up your community as well. And so all I did was choose one person out of that to win. I put it like 15 names in a jar. I shook it up. I did it on a little show, Houston Hoop Scoop on Instagram. Make sure y'all check that out every other Fridays as well.
Great show.
Drew his name out. He got a free shirt, and he also is getting a mixtape as well. So, you know, Jake is a solid prospect. And just one more thing about Jake that a lot of people may not know, but you're going to hear it right here first on Ball So Hard, is that he has several Division I interests right now.
I believe it.
Not offers, but interests. Colleges who are interested, colleges who have reached out, not just to him, but also to me about him. And so colleges are interested in him.
With the extra inches, that's going to help him. You know what I'm saying? That's going to help him. Especially, like I said, if he can continue to translate his game into a point guard, I think that's going to help him a lot. Because being a 6'3" point guard and him shooting the ball the way he can shoot the ball, that's going to help with the style we play today where, you know, you don't have to be a ball-dominant point guard. You know, you got to be able to run an offense, motion offense, understand how to read the pick and roll, facilitate, things like that. But with the way we play the ball today with the DHOs, playing off the ball, being a good shooter, that's what any Division I coach wants.
Yeah.
But the 6'3" helps you because, you know, if you can find a kid 6'3", 6'4", who can play on the ball and can shoot the ball well, that's very, very, very key at the next level.
And the Mustangs also added a transfer. Well, actually, he's coming back home. But he was at Maiden Creek last year, Anthony Pelson. He'll also be coming in, so you can expect for him to kind of be cleaning the house on the boards, playing on the wing, you know, as well as a couple of knocking down some three-pointers, getting to the basket for some easy lays. You know, he's just going to be a really good glue guy. Somebody who's going to rebound, somebody's going to set screens, somebody's going to dive on the floor and get after the ball. And so we're really excited about this event.
Very excited.
Giving y'all a little quick preview. Talk about a couple of prospects as well. There will be college coaches in attendance.
Make sure if you ain't got nothing to do this weekend,
yes, sir,
be in the Tasasita at the gym.
Yes, make sure you come to the
gym. Great event.
This is the preview for the PreSeason JAM. I am G-Day Hoop Scout, and this is Hanging with Coach Willis. And be sure to be on the lookout for that. Hanging with Coach Willis. It's coming to you real soon.
Look at me.